Coming up, though, right after this, it's World Sleep Day, and we're going to be touching base once again with a friend of the show, a man called John Watson, founder and manager of Sleep Radio on the North Island of New Zealand, up right after this.
Cosmic conversation that will transport you to seventh heaven.
The Late Early Show with Paul Ross.
Stimulating speech radio for those who never sleep.
On Talk Radio.
And the reason we're tuning our dial to Sleep Radio on the North Island of New Zealand is because today is World Sleep Day, and John, as I've said, to whom we've spoken before, is founder and manager of Sleep Radio. Good morning, John, and welcome back to Talk Radio here in the UK.
And good morning to you, where, by my calculation, it's the middle of the night.
It certainly is. It's now 2:45 in the morning or thereabouts. Let me ask you to remind us what was going on in your life when you came up with the idea of Sleep Radio, when you founded Sleep Radio.
Well, the station really came about because of my own battle with depression and my inability to stay asleep, lying in bed at night, looking at the ceiling for hours on end and trying to find some relaxation music that calmed me down in terms of a recommendation from my counsellor.
Yeah.
And CDs are actually really, really hard to find for relaxation and sleep. And so I started listening to internet radio stations. But the problem with that is that you're lying in bed and you've got your little earbuds in so that you don't wake your wife up. And then all of a sudden, bang, on comes the advertisements. And while I've been listening to you and being on hold, I've heard a few advertisements of my own in the middle of the night.
Yep. They pay the wages, don't they? But they can be if you're after complete relaxation and you're trying to zone out, I don't know, negative thoughts. Of course, I'm sure they can be very distracting indeed for you.
Yeah, so I thought, well, I can do better than this, and so I thought, well, okay, I'll just create a playlist of my own, and with no ads and no announcers and things like that, and it sent me straight off to sleep. And then I thought, I wonder if I could help others by doing this. And just nearly 5 years ago, we started broadcasting, and it's gone from little things, from 5 listeners on the night to around 42,000 unique listeners a month.
And what kind of music are you playing? It's kind of ambient music, if I remember right, isn't it?
Yes, it's very slow, downbeat, ambient and new age music. So no vocals, very downbeat, like drums. If it's got a beat, we don't play anything like that. We're not keen on bird song or crashing waves.
No.
Frogs.
I mean, you have to be careful, John. I'm presuming you don't want things that might creep into people's minds and change their dreams or something, because I've sometimes done that. I've sometimes fallen asleep with the radio on or music on, and I've found it's filtered its way into my dreams when I'm sleeping more lightly.
Yes, you're actually right. You have to be very careful. I mean, there's a lot of Zen Buddhist type music which can have influences, as we call them. And I mean, I've also experienced that with other types of music. Sometimes you hear a bit of whispering in the background, and some of the stuff that I listened to gave me nightmares. And so you have to vet every single track that we play before we put it into our playlists.
So how did you develop this? Because I think you've got a background in this kind of area, haven't you? I mean, I think you worked in the movie industry, and you're also a DJ at one time.
Yes, well, I'm also a sound technician, so that's quite big.
Pretty much covers the bases, I suppose, doesn't it, for you? So how did you develop this thing?
Yes. It was very helpful. I mean, once you get to the hang of it, and the big thing was the learning curve. It took me about 6 months to learn how to do this and obtain the music that I needed. But now I don't have a problem. We have around 3 or 4 digital albums a day sent to us by ambient music artists around the world. So getting the music is not an issue. Spending the time actually vetting it is what takes the time.
Now, we're going to play a bit of what people are listening to on your station kind of right now through your service, but I know people can download this as an app for the smartphone, can't they?
Yes, that's right. There are download links. It'll work on all devices, BlueBerry, Android and Apple, and there are links to that on our website at sleepradio.co.nz.
And how are you financing this, John, or is it done as a kind of labour of love?
It's around 50-50. 50% is funded by my wife and I, and the other 50% is funded by the donations that we receive. We run a fundraiser every January, and we raise probably a couple of $1,000s a year from that.
Okay.
And the rest of it trickles in during the year. And, the station isn't quite self-funding yet, but for me it's a labour of love, and it helps people suffer the same things that I did.
Well, that's the thing, is that people can look for it, Sleep Radio, and get it from their app store or whatever, and obviously you won't be carrying adverts any time in the near future, because, of course, that would be disruptive, but distracting for people, wouldn't it?
Yes, I mean, we do run adverts, but only on our social media pages.
Of course.
You won't hear any ads on air.
And how are you going on? How are you getting on at the moment, health-wise and sleep-wise, John, finally?
I'm actually doing really well. I mean,
good.
The sleep thing is only one thing of it, because, I mean, I still have depression. I still take all the good pills and make sure I try and get plenty enough exercise. Because, I mean, with insomnia, there are so many complex things that can be in motion that can actually affect your health. And so I don't profess to be a sleep expert at all. And if anyone is having difficulty sleeping on a prolonged basis anyway, seeing your doctor is probably the best thing you can do.
Absolutely. Now, if people have got, we've got lots of musicians listening, and people now can be their own composers, courtesy of all kinds of great kind of websites they can use or devices on the internet. How can people maybe get their music to you for your consideration for the channel, John? We've
just got a submission page on our website. Any artist who wants to send us some of their music can just simply go to that page and upload their tracks for auditioning. We tend to reject a fair bit of it, probably around 95%, because it's not suitable for sleeping. But amazing, actually, people even send us rap music thinking that that's what we're going to play. Yes. Yes.
Really? Well, I can think of, I like a bit of rap music myself. I don't think it's particularly conducive to drifting into the arms of Morpheus, is it? So what's your website, John, finally? How can people find you?
You'll find us at sleepradio.co.nz.
Okay, and we're going to, if we may, with your permission, cross over live now to share a bit of your output. So if anybody's feeling ever so slightly drowsy, John Watson and the team at Sleep Radio have got this for you. Sweet dreams, and thank you very much indeed, John. Lovely to speak to you again on World Sleep Day. That's enough of that. It's Talk Radio, the talk of the nation, with me, Paul Ross, with you all the way until 5 a.m. That's better. Wakey, wakey!
Talk Radio. Listen, phone, talk.
Talk Radio.
We'll get you talking.